Early photographs of the Great Sphinx. Many people from all around the world are already well aware of the mysterious and unexplained nature of the Great Sphinx of Giza, and what it could hold for the ancient Egyptians. Unfortunately, it appears that for political reasons, the top Egyptologists of the region are not interested in discovering the true nature of these creations, and have instead worked at concealing these findings despite what they lead people to believe. The Great Sphinx is a statue made of limestone in the shape of a sphinx lying down. A sphinx is a Greek mythological creature that has the body of a lion and the head of a woman, but the Egyptian sphinx has the head of a man. The Great Sphinx can be found in Egypt on the Giza Plateau on the River Nile's west bank, positioned to face straight from west to east. The Great Sphinx was originally carved from one rock into the Giza's plateau bedrock, and is one of the oldest and biggest statues across the globe. The Sphinx measures at 241 feet in length from its front paws to its tail, 66 feet in height and 62 feet wide. Nobody can lay claim to the time it was built, or why it was built, nor the name it was originally given, as there is no record in the Old Kingdom. The Sphinx's nose and the beard seem to be missing, with the nose being chiseled off by unknown people around the 3rd and 10th century CE. The earliest Western pictures of the Sphinx were sketch illustrations in print around the 16th century. After the invention of photography, different photographs of the Sphinx were taken in the mid-1800s, making them the earliest photographs of the Great Sphinx. British photographer Francis Firth took one of these photographs in 1858. Other photograph pictures of the Sphinx in the 1800s include the one archaeologist Auguste Mariette and Emperor Pedro II of Brazil took in front of the Sphinx in 1871. The members of the Japanese embassy to Europe in front of the Sphinx in 1864, and many others. The Acambaro figures. In 1944, a German shopkeeper stumbled upon thousands of mysterious figurines near Acambaro in Mexico. According to his claims, he found more than 30,000 figurines with the help of a local farmer. Over the years, archaeologists have found many figurines belonging to various civilizations in different parts of the world. However, these figurines challenge the current human knowledge about the history of the world. These mysterious figurines appear to depict humans and dinosaurs living together. Also, some of the figurines resemble aliens and flying saucers. Initially, the experts thought the figurines dated back thousands of years, and one of the studies showed them to be around 4,500 years old. However, over time more studies were conducted, and the idea that these were ancient figurines was widely dismissed by archaeologists. In 1952, Charles DePesso was an American archaeologist who examined the figurines. He found that the surface of the artifacts did not have any signs of weathering or dirt collection in the cracks, as according to him they were not thousands of years old as previously thought. Charles DePesso used his observations to conclude that the artifacts were not ancient, and he also stated the family which provided these figurines were famous for making figurines. He also claimed the family made these figurines after watching characters in various comic books and movies. Further studies were carried out during the 1970s, and it's believed the artifacts were made during the 1930s or 1940s, a few years before they were discovered. Despite the fact that the archaeological community has developed a consensus that the figurines are fake, there are still many people who believe the figurines are ancient in nature, and point to the relation of some ancient civilization with dinosaurs and aliens. Ley lines. Ley lines are lines that cut across the earth spotted with landmarks and historic structures, and convey alongside them flowing earth energies, and these energies are concentrated at the points the lines meet. The concept behind ley lines started with amateur archaeologist and businessman Alfred Watkins in 1921. This was when he realised that ancient sites appeared to line up with others close by. He drew lines in his map to show that people that lived in Old Britain travelled in a straight line pattern, with major man-made or natural sites falling in these lines. In his 1925 book The Old Straight Track, he suggested that ancient Roman and medieval structures across the globe fall within these straight lines, but his proposal was rejected by experts and archaeological scholars. His fault finders noticed that his thoughts depended on drawing lines between destinations set up at various times of the past. They additionally contended that in ancient times it was unfeasible to go in a straight line over bumpy or rugged zones in Britain, rendering his ley lines far-fetched as trade routes. A year later, Watkins' followers started the Straight Line Club, and in 1927 Watkins published a book titled The Ley Line Hunters, and this was said to help those interested in finding their own ley lines. The New Age movement interest in ley lines started in the 1960s by the Earth Mysteries movement, growing from something ordinary to a whole new field of study. With more published books, researchers and people gathering together to dig deeper and find new paths that lead to ley lines. Most believe these ley lines had supernatural powers or mysterious energies, even though Watkins never had this thought from the beginning. Other paranormal subjects have infused the concepts of ley lines to include things like UFOs and Atlantis. Critics to this day feel that until ley lines are proven scientifically, it cannot be taken seriously as most of the connected lines are mere coincidence. Ley lines remain a mystery, and whether they're true or not, it goes to show man's interest in finding patterns in everything around us. Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Stone. One of the most famous out-of-place artifacts is the Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Stone. It's believed the stone was discovered in 1872 in Meredith in New Hampshire, United States. This stone was accidentally found in a dug hole for a fence post. The discovery was credited to Seneca Ladd, the businessman who had hired the workers for the digging. Seneca Ladd died in 1892 and the stone was passed to his daughter, who later donated it to the New Hampshire Historical Society. The mystery stone has an egg-like shape and different symbols carved on it. Some of the figures carved on the stone include corn, strange arrows, spirals, a celestial object and various dots. The stone is around 4 to 4.2 inches tall, and is around 2.5 inches thick. It has a hole that goes from the top to the bottom. A number of studies have been carried out to find the origins of the stone, but nothing conclusive can be said about its origins. According to one theory, the Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Stone actually commemorates a treaty between two tribes. Another theory about the stone suggests that it's a thunderstone. In 1994, an archaeologist named Richard Boesvet conducted a borescope analysis of the stone. According to his findings, the holes in the stone did not seem to be created by any prehistoric North American civilization. Instead, it seemed as if the holes were created by modern-day power tools, of which would have been available during the 19th and 20th century. According to analysis, this stone is a type of quartzite. Ghost ship of Northumberland Strait. For more than 200 years, a mysterious ghost ship has been seen at different places by residents that live near Northumberland Strait that separates Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. The phenomenon has been recorded over the years in books and articles, but it's also faced much criticism. The first recorded event happened in 1786. A lighthouse keeper at Sea Cow Head was surprised to see a boat that had 3 masts sailing at full speed towards the rocks, propelled by the treacherous winds of the northeast gale. With all hopes lost as the ship drew closer to the cliff, it suddenly made a turn and faced the wind and then disappeared. Over the years, all the witnesses that sighted the ship gave the same description as each other. One such sighting happened in January 1988, where a burning ship not far from Borden was spotted from a ferry, even though the radar instrument did not detect it. The captain of the ferry took his men and made an attempt to rescue the crew members of the burning ship, but as they drew closer, the ghost ship vanished. That same night, another couple spotted the burning ship, and knowing what it was, did not raise the alarm but decided to watch it before it vanished. At another time, a 3-masted ship was reported to be ablaze at Charlottetown Harbour. A rescue team set out to save the men on board of the ship, but as they drew closer, once again the ship had disappeared into the mist. The ship was never found, even though a search party was sent out to look for it. No one knows the story behind the ghost ship, but many theories have been made over the years. One such theory says a captain of a pirate ship made a deal with the devil in an attempt to keep his loot from being discovered. In exchange, the captain and his crew members would sail on a burning ship for all eternity. According to the story, the deal was made when the ship was burning and about to sink after it was attacked by another ship.